we're going to talk about the distributive property. The distributive property means multiplying a sum by a number is the same as multiplying each add-in by the number and then adding the products, which basically means distribute multiplication to every term in the expression, or what's on the outside to everything inside the parentheses. Then add the products if they are like terms. So for number 1, we have A times B. When you are multiplying variables that are not the same, A times B would be written as AB, because AB means A times B, the product of A and B. Then we distribute the A to the C. A times C, again, we just write it beside each other. That's the product of A and C. So we have AB plus AC. Those are not like terms. They both have an A in it, but one has a B and one has a C. They're not like terms, so I cannot combine those. That is my final answer. AB plus AC. That's it. If you have a minus sign inside the parentheses, distribute like normal. A times B is AB. A times negative C, we know that a positive times a negative is a negative, so that's going to be minus AC. AB minus AC. Again, these are not like terms, so I cannot combine them. I just leave it as that. That is the answer. I know in your mind, you want to make that smaller because you're used to math being an answer, a number. But with combining like terms, when you're dealing with expressions, you're going to have multiple terms inside your answer that are not like terms that you cannot combine. You just leave it like that. When you have a number, remember if your coefficient doesn't have, if your variable doesn't have a coefficient in front of it, then the coefficient is 1. 7 times 1 is 7. Keep your variable. 7 times 4 is 28. Again, these are not like terms. One has a variable, one is a constant. Variables and constants are not like terms. So we just leave that as 7a plus 28. If you have a negative with the number on the outside, you're going to distribute that negative with the number. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Keep your variable. Negative 2 times negative 8. A negative times a negative is a positive. So that's plus 16. Negative 2 plus 16. You take this idea and do the exact same thing with fractions and decimals. You just have to make sure to follow your fraction and your decimal rules. So 1/3 times x is 1/3 x. 1/3 times the negative 6, a positive times a negative is a negative. And 1/3 times 6, put 6 over 1. And then we can use the distributive, or not the distributive property, we can simplify before we multiply. 6 and 3 are both divisible by 3. That leaves me with 2. 1/3 x minus 2. Again, those are not like terms, so I cannot simplify that. That is my answer. If you have a decimal, you're going to do the same thing. 5/10 times negative 3x, a positive times a negative is a negative. 3 times 5 is 15, and there's one decimal, so that's negative 1.5x. 5/10 times 7 and 1/10. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35, and there are 2 decimal places, so I'll move my decimal to the left too. It is positive. Negative 1.5x plus 3 55/100. Y. And that is is how you use the distributive property.